Welcome to the Gintama Benizakura arc movie. This covers episodes 58 through 61, and I've been told this is the preferred way to watch this arc because it's movie quality. There are some small changes, some small little spoiler-ish things, but nothing that's too bad. I've been told that the things that are really spoilers are at the end, like after the credits, so just don't watch that. But yeah, I'm gonna watch the movie, see how this arc plays out. I'll probably go back and watch them in the episodes at some point as well, but we're gonna do this. Most of my audience, people on Discord and everything, were telling me that this is the way I should do it, so thank you guys for the input. We're gonna get into it. I'm very excited to see what happens, so got it up right here. Subtitles and timer are up on the screen. We're starting at the very beginning. It's on a black screen before the Warner Brothers logo. We're going to start there. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, play. But yeah, there's been a little bit of build up to this. I've been excited ever since the new ending showed up and we had Takasugi and these guys in it. I don't know what they're gonna do for the first serious arc in Gintama, like the first arc that people seem to consider to be major. Of course. And what way would it start other than this? Of course. The static shot of the outside of the building. Oh no, the TV series is not over by a long shot. The static shot of the place, and them being meta about it, of course. What other way would there be to start the movie? Of course. Now they're just talking about the business side of it. Oh yeah, Gintama, guys! It's the biggest anime. You gotta do it. Waza and Naza, like Wana, like the Wana brothers, Wana brothers. Turns out the movie is just an hour and a half of this shot. That's fine. Maybe we hear like the arc happening in the background. You know how they'll do like recap episodes or recap movies, but they have like narration over it or something. This movie is a recap of that arc, but just of this shot with the arc happening in the background. I don't know about that many Gintama movies, but the anime will keep going for quite a while. Oh, and now, okay. This, again, sure. Of course. If you're gonna do the Gintama movie, then you might as well start it in this fucking way, the way the Gintama does things. So yeah, this wouldn't have been in the anime if I had watched the episodes, I guess. That's, pretty fun. And now now we're interrupting that too. We're starting back at the beginning, and now we're interrupting that, and we're back here again, and okay. Nice little recap. Get everybody caught up. Of course. And Sakamoto. He was here in the last episode, which I heard was filler. I didn't think it was, but apparently it was. I was trying to theorize how it would connect to this arc, but it was just filler. People who've never seen Gintama and are watching this, I don't know why you would do that, but like you would be so confused. Because people always, when somebody asks, like, when does Gintama get good or get serious, some people answer with this arc. So if somebody jumped straight to this and they jumped to the movie version to get a taste of what Gintama was like, spectacles, they would be like, what the fuck is happening? But I guess it is a good representation of what Gintama is like. Again? Yeah. It'd be fucking weird, but it's accurate. It's just best to ease into it, getting accustomed to Gintama's weirdness rather than having it thrust in your face in this movie out of nowhere. But yeah, let's see what we got. See what a movie quality Gintama looks like. Kind of be weird to go back to the show after it, though. Back to what it normally looks like, but... oh well. Little baby Gintoki. Not even at his desk, just asleep in the corner. I don't think he's learning jack shit. Got his sword. Little Katsura and little Takasugi. So they go way back. Weren't just soldiers together. Even as little kids. What did he say? Alright, yeah, the Benizakura chapter. Benizakura arc. I don't know why it's called that. I don't know what the plot of this arc is. I just know from the ending, shows Takasugi and his guys, so they're gonna be doing some kind of shit. Hello. I don't know if Sakamoto will be in it. I was thinking he would be just because he was in the last episode. But if that was filler, then I guess they just wanted to have a Sakamoto episode. Ah, so we have Okada, the blind man. Yeah, that's a red sword. Holy shit. Is he okay? Damn. Oh my god. Katsura just... well, shit. He's got taken out right away. He doesn't seem all that, all that worried about it. No need for infighting. So yeah, we get to see some of these guys again, and some new faces. Alright. Looking pretty good. The Red Bullet. This guy. Nice hat. We saw a little bit of this dude in a couple episodes ago. Bonsai, a swordsman. Alright. There's our team. I can't wait to see all these guys in action. So he's got his new army. I don't know. Presumably. Nice! I was actually wondering, since we had only seen the top, I was wondering, is he wearing pants? And I can't be too surprised to see that the answer was no. So Katsura's obviously going to be okay, but he might be out of... Look at Elizabeth in the fucking hat. He might be out of commission for this movie. Because that was pretty brutal. It's like, oh shit. Gotta go get help. I'm here for your assistance. I would hide too. She's terrifying. He. Whatever. Where's Sadaharu? Could you tell? You really can't. There's just no way to know. "81 years old." Nice. Yeah, Elizabeth is an enigma. There's no understanding. There's no reasoning. Elizabeth just is. Clearly. Oh, there he is. He's manning the phones. Will she try to communicate in any way what's happening? Sadaharu, get that. Okay, he'll do it. What is our final trick? Weeding him? Okay, you guys deal with the penguin monster, and I will go elsewhere. So what's he up to? Strawberry Olay? Yes, he's not a fan of that particular beverage. And it brought about tears. No! If Elizabeth is crying, you know it's bad. They are very against the strawberry milk. Which is rude. It's pretty tasty. If they can't hear you, I think it's fair to turn around and go home. If they called and they won't even answer the door, well then, that's on them. If you called somebody over, you need to be paying attention for when they show up and not hitting them in the head with a hammer. Shit, damn. Okay, good for you. You're very enthusiastic. She, not so much. He knows. You've said. We got the loud brother and the quiet sister. I prefer her. Now he's speaking like him. What is the job? What are we doing? Ah, the Benizakura is a sword. I don't know if it was the sword that Okada had, the red one, or if that's like a inferior one. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know if he would be the one to have it. Would appear that way. All right. So yeah, I mean, Takasugi might be wielding it like normally, but he might have given it to him to go out and do what he was doing. Who knows? But either way, they have it. Well, shit. And it brings bad luck. It might. That's a pretty tall order. He's like, he's really not listening at all. He's like, yeah, I get that you want me to stop it, but will that not bring bad luck to me as well? What? Does he have, like, really bad hearing? Maybe he talks... he talks so loudly that he's made himself deaf. Ew. No. Katsura wouldn't die that easily. Well, he definitely lost, but I'm sure he'll be alive out there somewhere. Wasn't typical, though. It was a hell of a sword. Oh, damn! Where'd you get those? Holy shit! You should have those all the time. Oh, the legs. The hairy legs. He knocked the fuck out of her. Him. It. Tell her, don't give up on him that easily. My god, Shinpachi. She wasn't actually abducted, though. Are we talking about the ninjas? She wasn't actually kidnapped, it was a fake. She was fine the entire time, from what I remember, if that's what we're talking about. Oh god. The innards. The true core of Elizabeth, whatever it is. yeah, you should probably beg for forgiveness. Hi. Oh, damn. Yeah, you're with me now. Nice. Solid disguise. You really thought something like that would just be pawned off that easily? That it would just be about money? Alright, so they know about the sword too. We can get the Shinsengumi working together with them. Whoa, look at that thing. Yeah. Whoa, look at this. That CG ship. And here we have it. The swordsman guy, Kawakami Bansai, I believe was his name. Another guy you gotta yell at. He's listening to his music. Yeah, the name he had in the other episode was not his real name. Whoa, hello. Trying to get some Amanto on your side. Am I to assume? Definitely. I was told that there were some spoiler-ish things in the movie, mostly like character designs. Like you see characters who you don't officially meet until later, so it only really spoils their character designs, not like huge spoilers. So I'm thinking that's one of those things that probably wasn't in the original show, because that was definitely Kagura's brother, which is pretty fucking cool. I don't know when we'll actually see him in the show, so that's kind of like a big tease, because now I'm going to be excited to get to him. Oh, okay. Thank you, Golgo. We saw the guy that looks like Kagura, and I'm thinking, like, there's no way that suddenly he's just going to be here just like that. But then I was thinking about how people told me that some character designs get spoiled, and I was like, oh, that might be one of them then, and yeah, there's no denying it. Whoa! I figured he'd probably just leave and it'd be a small little cameo, so not expecting him to see him again anytime soon. And now this is trouble. I don't think Elizabeth can die though, so it's fine. I'm pretty sure she's immortal. All right, rematch time. You got defeated not that long ago. Got a much better sword this time. They gonna go at it right here? I'm sure you didn't. Don't know how he got away and you thought he was dead, but obviously he'll be okay. Shit, he even cut off part of his damn hair. Yeah, he's just got very nice hair. When he dresses like a woman, he's really hot. But how did you get that close to cut off part of his hair and you didn't realize he was alive? Because he definitely is. But it was this sword. Oh, okay. So it literally is like there's a lot of shit to this sword. It's not just a real good sharp sword. It's gross. I agree. What? You sniff something, boy? It's a pretty creepy territory. Mm-hmm. Luckily, Kagura is somebody I trust to handle herself in creepy situations. Nice. Good advice. Not, yeah, thank you. Yeah, fucking locked and loaded. So, shit. This, seeing what this sword is like, is not gonna go well. We're gonna need some help. Gonna have to try to run away. Holy shit, we'll see, what the. She's still Golgo. We'll see what kind of misfortune it brings to its wielders or the people it fights against or just in general. But it's looking bad so far. Shit. It's definitely cool seeing some action and some animation like this in Gintama. It's usually pretty limited, at least in the earlier parts of the show that I've seen so far. Well, I don't know about just. Yeah. Just wait till he does Bankai. That shit's gonna be nuts. Shit, we're having trouble just fighting this guy with the blade. Damn! Even when it looked like he had the upper hand. Like, if we're having trouble right now, I mean, imagine when you've got him and all the other guys and Takasugi doing whatever plan they're going for. What the hell are we gonna do to fight this thing? Gintoki's getting his ass kicked. Shit. Okay. Good way to show the threat level. You know, Katsura got taken out, now this. This thing is serious. God damn! Holy shit. Elizabeth's gotta hold him back. I mean, he'll be okay, but that's fucked up. Shinpachi. Look how off to the side it is. Gotta aim for, like, the fucking heart if you want to go for the kill and blow, you fool. What are you, some stupid anime villain? But that's fucked up. Like, he's in really bad shape. So I don't think we'll be getting any Sakamoto. But Kagura is here, right by where Takasugi is. Okay, you think so? Look at this thing. Well, you think all it means to be a samurai is just the sword? Nah. Yeah, like, the sword is broken. Doesn't change fucking who he is. Damn, Shinpachi! Oh my god! What a fucking badass! Shinpachi! The straight man just came in and fucking... Oh my god, like... I've grown to like Shinpachi more as the show has gone on, but like, fuck! I thought that he was just... Like, yeah, he was getting pretty angry. I thought he would try to act, but I didn't think he'd be able to do something like that. And he didn't even give a shit. He's just like, oh, in my arm. Whatever. But damn, Shinpachi. That was awesome. He's in some bad shape. Give him some strawberry milk. That'll make him all better. Whoa. Kagura, be careful. You're one letter off. Shit. Oh, damn. It's okay. Some cool bullet dodging. Kagura versus this lady. Makes sense. Nice. It's the Steins Gate pose almost, kinda. Nice. You tell her. Well, good for you. What a way to distract the enemy. Talking about her dirty ass crotch. She's distracted. Whack her. There you go. That's some strategy right there. Okay. Sure, if you say so. The way he looked to the side during that made me think it's not true. But, I don't know. Let's see if you can capture Kagura just like that. She's gonna put up a hell of a fight. Some good animation, too. Nice. Yeah, do they just have him on the ship somewhere? Whoa, watch out! Oh, damn. My Kagura. Oh, you piece of shit. Oh my god, that face! Oh, I'm like, yeah, hold her down, you piece of shit. But she just got, I thought she was done. She got the hell back up. Like a badass, which shouldn't be surprising. Just, oh, yeah. What is it? Okay, well, obviously she's fine, but it looks like she's captured for now, too. Everybody's getting fucked up, though. Like, Shinpachi's the only one who's uninjured, and the Shinsengumi will need their help, but Gin's in really bad shape. Leave the sword behind. Very nice. Seeing Gin's upbringing and the teachings of this wise man. And cut to a shit ton of death. With him right in the middle of it all. Hell of a dream, I assume, is what this is. Sure seems that way. Oh, Otai's here. I was wondering how many different characters we'd see in this movie, but since it was originally an arc of the manga and the show, it's not just like a typical movie where they feel the need to shoehorn in every character. So, we might not see just like Sachan and Hattori and other random minor characters just because. Sure. We haven't even seen Otose or Catherine. Why not? If that's what it takes, maybe. Shinpachi is fine. I don't know what he's doing. Kagura's in a little bit of a bind. You read a manga to a person? The visuals are kind of a part of it, but okay. Just describe what's happening. Poor Elizabeth, she's in mourning. She's given him a grave. She's given up all hope. We're in the rain because sadness. And now Kagura's missing. At least Sadaharu's okay. And they got the map to them. It's illegible. Yeah, he needs to recover. It's probably good to have her here then for that. She's just the man for the job. Oh, I forgot about them entirely, honestly. Yeah, look at what happened. You sent him out on this job to go get this misfortune blade, and look at the guy. Look what you've done. You lost a damn arm. Gotta be careful with that blade, dude. Well, he did. She's getting a little out of hand. Possibly putting the group in danger a little bit. And she's like, yeah, I mean, hey, dude, you can't even fucking deny it. You won because of the blade. You didn't do it yourself. And now it's just like becoming part of him. So I don't, like, can anybody else even wield it at this point? Or how does that work? If it does that, if it's just gonna fucking take over your body like that, I can see why Takasugi himself wouldn't be wielding it and why he would have this guy do it. Just kind of use him as a puppet to wield this thing for him and be under his control. I feel like he doesn't respect you that much. Because I remember his debut appearance with the old guy. Alright, this guy wants fame. But yeah, like with the old guy with the robots, and he was sad that his son died. Takasugi kind of just used him to do his work while he just kind of stayed in the background. I kind of feel like that's his thing. I think he's just manipulating you guys. At least Okada. Okay. So it learns and grows like a living thing. Becomes better and stronger. So even though he lost, and look at that shit. Even though he lost an arm, like it got experience. Okay, so there's actually, oh, and the brother's bad. Oh fuck, I didn't see that coming. So yeah, they've got a bunch of them. They're replicating it. Shit. Is there one, like, true one that's the original and the best of them all? Or are they all equally good at this point? Like, that's pretty fucking bad. They said that in My Hero as well. Pretty much. But it was said by the hero. Can it cut a silver soul? Nice. Well, if one of them had to be evil, I'm glad it was him, because I like her better. So she can be the good guy. So he got brought into this purposefully by the villains. Yeah. Fuck him. Yeah. He's a piece of shit. So that's all he cares about. Just making the best swords. It doesn't matter who ends up using them. And they're for killing. And just make them as good as you can. And he couldn't stop at just regular swords. New ways to make them go above and beyond. Got into fucking black market dealings. But it's not. It doesn't have to be. Of course. This is a shonen anime, though, so you can just kind of ignore those injuries if you want. You are the protagonist. You have that right. Ah, Shinpachi. Yeah, go get him, boy. Shinpachi just goes in there and fucking beats everybody. I'd be down to see that. Ah, solid disguise. Good shit. All these guys looking at her. Can't blame them. All right, Kagura. Damn, you got to have something like that to chain her down. I feel like if she got really motivated, she could rip those things out. That'd be badass. Uh, well, that's not Lolly. She's if she would be like 16 or 17 at the time. I guess it depends on the appearance of whether it's technically Lolly, but still, she would be basically of age-ish at that point, at least for Japan. But yeah, she's healing fast. Anyway, he's a feminist. He's a lolicon. Okay, whatever. He's a. Let's not talk about what he is. Let's just ignore him for a while, please. It's Hijikata and Okita. Not really. Yeah, Katsura or Zura, whichever. Gross. Insults her panties, spits on her face. That's weird. It's weird. Cuz like I mean, again, she'll be like older at that point, but it's just that's a weird fucking thing to say, man. Nice. Oh god, they're having a fucking snot contest. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Very, very ladylike and attractive. Oh god, did they just blow the place up with their spit? Did that just happen? I wish that's what had happened. But we had some outside interference. Of course, she has a cannon in her. Of course. Anything. You could do anything with Elizabeth, and I won't question it. I'll just believe it. She's like the perfect ultimate plot device. Do you need something? Well, Elizabeth can do it, because why not? She's a freak. Anything you want. He's gotta go. I think he's got some years left in him for mischief. Goddamn Akamaru. No one wants that shit. Yeah. You know he's got to go. He has to be involved in the story. And nobody is under any kind of assumption that he's not going to go. That's nice. They know they can't stop him, so... Okay. That's a pretty good moment for her. Nothing she can do about it, just let him go. Go into battle with that umbrella. It's cute. Hello. People wanting revenge. Shit. There's a lot of guys here, too. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna get destroyed. Kinda. He drew more attention to it by doing what he did. Damn. Putting her on a cross out front. They have no idea who she is. No. They're gonna fire. They don't know who that is. Yeah, there you go. Might have even broken the cross. Might have freed her. Oops. We were dumb and wrong. We fucked up. Correct. Nah. She's of the Yato. She's fine. Nice. Fucking Shinpachi. Who knew you were so cool? Now we got him being completely taken over. When is Headphone Boy gonna come back? This guy's getting eaten up by this demonic sword. Yeah. Nope. Yes. Seems like it's growing in strength and fucking him up in the process. It doesn't really seem like it. Shit. Oh, impressive. Yeah, oh. Who needs an arm when you've got that beautiful thing? Yeah, now it's just like a part of him. Wow. doesn't want to be considered a comrade of them at all. Didn't feel that close with them. Okay. They have no idea. They're like, okay, they weren't here for her. We don't know who this is. They don't know what's going on. We just got to get off the sinking ship. Bye, guy. Untire while you run. The hell is this? Getting on his little fucking his little horse to ride off into battle? All right, let's go. These guys are going to get destroyed by this sword. A little bit of flashback mixed in with him. Damn! Holy shit. I was thinking like he'll just go through and individually slaughter them all, but it fucking extended. God damn. Just like that. Yeah, that sword's got a lot of power. You cool with that? You just happy that you made a strong sword? Whoa, somebody pulled them up. Hey! You majestic beast. What's up? Shit! No, Elizabeth! She'll be fine. She's weird. It's like you just cut a cloth. Whoa. Fucking Katsura with his hair cut. Excellent disguise. Good shit. He's okay. Got pretty badly wounded, but he's fine now. They're not fine. God damn. Yeah, this thing is just going to keep taking over your body. It's not going to stop. That's pretty impressive. Nice. Whoa! Missile tits. 2,000 missile tits. Alright, the sister's sword gets to fight against the Benizakura. Yeah, it's a little gaudy. You insulted her sword, and that is worth jeopardizing the entire mission. Yeah, he didn't even say that. She knows it, and she's like, better not say it. Elizabeth's son. But you have Elizabeth, and she is a weapon unto herself. No, Of course. It's like, I guess they trust Elizabeth's hunches. Looks weird with the short hair. That's good. Good for you. He doesn't like that word, though. Shit. What is it? Oh. They've got their own little books that both protected them. Yeah, exactly. He didn't even bother. What now? Alright. Damn, blowing up all the other swords? I figured we wouldn't just have, like, all those swords running around Edo. But it would have been kind of exciting to see more of them. Holy shit! Nice. It would have been kind of exciting to see more of those swords being used. Okay. Well, no, Elizabeth is elsewhere. They're just focused on this now. They feel betrayed. Okay, because it's a good disguise. Use him as a weapon. If you must vent your anger against him right now, then you may as well use him as a weapon. Hey! What a fucking figurehead at the front of the ship. Okay, the war is on. Elizabeth's whacking people. Katsura, Shinpachi, and Kagura are all fine. And they just walked away. All right. Katsura's chasing him down. Gintoki and the girl are still on their way. What about the headphone guy? Like, all right. Yeah, of course. We know. All right. What? Kagura and Shinpachi tag team. Let's do it. And we'll get all that shit later. Then it's not the time for that. They can handle it. They got it covered. All right. Nice. So yeah, Katsura and Shinpachi versus those two. Gintoki's here confronting Okada with the sword. Katsura chasing down. Nice. Katsura's chasing down Takasugi. See what this sword's all about. Looking pretty fancy. Okay, rematch again. He's fine. He's the protagonist. And he's in bad shape because he's being taken over by that. Shit. He really is in bad shape, though. He's... Whoa. It's pretty weakened, but it's a good sword. This guy's falling apart, too. Oh, nice. And not a drop of blood. Oh, nice. Holy shit. Damn. So like it's grown so much that it's like fully in control now. And it's moving faster than any normal person would ever be able to swing a sword, and just forcing his body to go along with it, destroying his body, making him in constant pain. Interesting wish. All right, so we're hearing their perspective from him and the swordsmith, and from Okada. Just destroy everything. What do you think now? Damn, look at him. He's pretty messed up. Yeah, that seems to be what's happening. I guess so. That's called shonen protagonist syndrome. Fucking deal with it. This thing is just gonna take him over completely. Now it seems like that's what's happening. Alright, Shinpachi, let's see how you can do on a sword fight. But I'm not drunk. I'm just. What? Why are you shaking so much? What's happening? Yeah, like. I see. Alright, well, then it's a good matchup, I suppose. If she just shot him, took him out, hey, yeah, that'd be helpful for us. Go ahead. Feel free. Fucking. What just happened? She catch him in her mouth. Yep, she caught him in her mouth and her hands. Fucking smooth. Holy shit! What is that? Fuck. It's fucking enveloping him now. It's going out of control completely. It's gonna turn into a giant monster. Oh my, yeah, he's gone. He's taken over completely by this thing, and it's just gonna take out everybody. You guys don't have to fight anymore. It's just going to attack anything in its way. Yeah. Ew. I don't think that's gonna help, lady. Bye. Sorry. Well, they've just taken themselves out. But why, though? Just because I want to make a sword that just has the most power of any sword. But just for the sake of itself, it's fucking dumb. Nice. Oh, alright. They still get to join in the fight. Just be careful. He's kind of out of control. Yeah. Why? Yeah, no, she gets that. She thinks that's a stupid thing to do. Right, that's the problem. That's dumb. Couldn't live up to his father, so he's just strive to just do that and nothing else. Do whatever it takes to just be better than his father, regardless of anything else. And his sister had this special quality that he lacked. That's all he cared about. Just get a hobby. How the hell do we stop this guy now? Like, Gintoki's completely out of it. Shit. Yep. Saved his sister. Said that all you have left are swords. You didn't realize what you had right in front of you. A fucking sister. Shit. Yeah, exactly. Looks like he realized what was really important right at the end, and I don't know if he's going to make it. It's kind of his payment for what he's done. Maybe he'll live. We'll see what happens. Fucking tell him. Alright, what now? Up against this monstrosity. Flashback mode again. Kind of seems like he forgot that part. Yeah, kind of strayed away from that. And she did. Yeah, it looks like her brother's done. It's a shame for him to come around and learn his lesson and then die, but after everything that he did. Makes sense to end here. Yeah, I was just about to say, what about Takasugi himself? He's had a very small part in this. And the headphone guy just didn't even. He wasn't even here. Everybody's still fighting out here, led by Elizabeth. All right, we got some space pirates. I definitely want to know more about their teacher. All right. Shoyo. All right. He was very devoted to his teacher. We're learning a little more about him now. That's good. He couldn't move past that. Can't reconcile his feelings with this world. Can't move on or find any reason to endure it like they do. Then we're going to stop you. All right, guys. Yeah, that was quite a while ago. Well, shit, what now? Hey, big guy, what's up? Okay, we just have a whole another army joining in the fight here at the end. God damn, just when you think it's about to be over. I was wondering if he was gonna fucking show up. Like, it would have made sense for him to come in with this army. I kept thinking that was gonna happen. But it got to be so late into the movie that I was thinking, like, okay, I guess it's not happening. Because, like, the battle was over. We beat Okada, we destroyed the sword, we're done. So I was like, I guess he's just not gonna come. Maybe that's just set up for later, for after this. But no, he really showed up at the very end. How long is his hair gonna be like that? What do we do now? Just retreat? Yeah, that's true. We did the very important part of the job, getting those out of there. But are we just gonna? Do we just have to get out of this fucking mess? Okay, holy shit, they are beaten to hell, but especially Gintoki. But just gonna slice some Amato dudes down. I like all the unique designs for all these guys. Okay, all right, we get some music in here for a final battle where they just tear shit through all the Yamato. From above. Okay, good. Nice. Very nice. The two of them together. Pretty badass. We're just seeing what they were like in the war here. Is he really going to get involved this late? Or are we going to. Damn. Are we going to save him for another time? Holy shit. Sorry, big dude. And then the girl with the guns and the other guy. I don't know if they're going to come back later. Probably, but we'll see. Damn, there's a ton of them, and they are fucking. This is pretty awesome to watch, just making their way through all these guys. Especially in the shape that they're in. It looks very nice. Yeah, guys, it's not working. They really just brought in this huge army right at the end, and then they can just fucking take them all out, just the two of them. Yeah, it looks like we get to deal with them more later. Oh, then we'll be no longer friends. Okay. Couldn't take down literally every single one of them. We are going to work on retreating. Beautiful, beautiful parachute. Yes. He did. He did screw it up. We had to get one of those in the movie, and he had to screw it up. So yeah, the Shinsengumi actually didn't help at all. They did literally nothing. I expected them to be involved. They're old notebooks. Beautiful. I was wondering, like, does he still have it? But what an amazing line to end on. Let's see what else we've got. So they're all fine. All except Okada. You know, he got a little bit fucked. But they will return to villain again another day. The Benizakura swords are no longer a threat. This girl's got no brother now. Good work, guys. The police force really looking out. He's got his badminton at the ready. His fucking. His racket. Are we actually gonna get to see him soon? Oh, it's Otose and Catherine. But yeah, like, are we actually getting them in the show soonish? That's why they foreshadowed it here. I didn't expect that. Sadaharu didn't really get to do much. Would have been cool for him to be in the battle and bite some dudes. But yeah, they're home. The umbrella's fine. He's so happy. We're back home. Everybody's good. And is that it? There we go. I've been told to stop there because anything else after the end is a spoiler, so I will stop right there. So thank you for watching that long reaction. Let's talk about it for a little bit. All right, the Benizakura arc. Obviously, I watched the movie, but after that, I also watched the TV version. I watched episodes 58 through 61, which cover the same thing. So we're going to be talking about the story itself, and also just differences between the two and what I preferred in each one, because there are pros and cons to each. For the most part, they're exactly the same, like 99% exactly the same, mostly. But yeah, just the story itself was very good, very enjoyable. It was interesting to get so much Gintama all at once, because I've been watching one episode at a time, spaced out between all the other shows that I'm watching. You know, you got 2 a week being uploaded, so to get basically 4 episodes all at once was very interesting. You know, even regardless of just Gintama specifically or this content specifically, binging versus waiting before you watch more can be a different experience a lot of the time. And I felt that here, like when I was watching the episodes, the cliffhangers, just the nature of episodic story, something being told piece by piece and you gotta wait. They could get you pretty hyped. Like the end of episode 1 of this arc ends with Gintoki beaten and Kagura confronting Takasugi, and it's like, oh shit, what are we in for now? What a cool start to the arc. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. Or the 3rd episode ends with Gintoki and Okada starting their fight, so it's like, oh shit, I want to see how it's all gonna end. I want to see that fight. And of course, you can binge a show too, but just the way that I have been watching it, I would have waited and watched other shows in between. And so I would have gotten a little more hyped in between those episodes, and it just would have given me a little more time with the plot, with these characters and everything. But watching it all at once was cool too, just getting this entire story in this one big chunk in movie quality was also cool. I think it works both ways. The structure and the length are very fitting of a movie. Like, it fits right into a 90-minute movie, and it's structured perfectly for it. Like, you've got the beginning, Katsura gets taken out, immediately establishing a threat, explanation about this blade, Gintoki gets beaten and he has to heal, and that's the low point leading up to the climax, and it's very well structured to be transitioned into a movie. And the animation in the movie is really great. Although, I was surprised how good it looked in the show, too. Like, it actually looked really good in the show. Especially Kagura fighting those dudes on the ship, and Gintoki versus Okada at the end. It looked really good for how the show usually looks. The movie obviously looks better, and the biggest change in the animation is at the end, with the much extended fight scene with Gintoki and Katsura versus all those in Monto. That was incredible. That was just really cool to see the two of them fighting together like they were back in the war again. Dodging all these guys, fighting so many dudes and taking them out the way that they were. That was really awesome, and it looked great. But for the most part, the show still looked good as well. And, you know, I don't really come to Gintama for action and animation, so, you know, during the show I wasn't really thinking that it was lacking, but it's a bonus that the movie has, especially at the end there. That final one looked really good. But overall, I kind of enjoyed the experience of watching the show a little bit more, honestly, because this is probably just a personal thing. Bear with me. Kind of just like the context of a movie changes my expectations. Even though I knew going in that it's just a retelling of an arc in the show and in the manga, just the nature of it being a movie, I just kind of have a different mindset going in, regardless. I just kind of expect a little bit more, you know? And not that it was bad, I'm just saying that in comparison to the show version, I don't think it has like a major heads up over the show overall. in that regard. You know, the best context to watch it would have just been to watch the episodes with no knowledge whatsoever, not knowing that this was going to be an arc, never hearing anything about it, but that just wasn't on the table. That shit's gonna happen, especially when you talk about stuff online. I've heard about the Benizakura arc way before I ever got into Gintama, so I knew it was coming regardless. I knew we were going to have an arc that was more serious than typical. That's just would have been the absolute ideal, to go in as blind as possible. Just it being a movie, again, this is a very personal little thing, but it makes it feel a little more divorced from the show, if you know what I mean. Like, if perfect example is at the very beginning when Katsura gets taken out. If I had just started up the next episode of Gintama, even knowing that this was the start of a more serious arc, if I just start up the next episode, I'm just watching episodes and then this is just the next one, and then it starts with Katsura getting fucking sliced open, I feel like that's a little more impactful. Whereas when I'm watching it in a movie, I kind of expect something like that. Again, I know this doesn't technically make sense because it's just a retelling of the anime story, but it's just a different frame of mind that I have when there's a movie playing out in front of me. And again, none of this is saying that the movie is bad. I'm just talking about all the differences, how I felt about both. They're essentially the same thing. So, you know, it's a really good story, it's a good arc, and I liked it. So regardless of the version, I liked it. I'm just letting you know all of the differences that I think about in my mind between the two. But same with Gintoki getting beaten, because when you're watching it in a movie, that kind of thing is like, oh yeah, that can happen. But when that happens at the end of the episode and Gintoki just gets fucking stabbed and it's like, holy shit, it kind of feels a little more impactful when it's just in an episode of the show, you know, rather than the movie. I love the way the movie started, though. That's something that you can only do in the movie, having the meta opening like that. Of course, they do it in the show all the time, but in this specific context, doing it here was really good and makes perfect sense. Like, how else do you start the Gintama movie? How else would I want them to do it? The static shot of the outside of the building and them being meta. Yay, we finally got a movie, but who knows if the anime's ending? How did this even happen? What the fuck is Warner Brothers? They must have been tricked. And all this stuff, and then the logo happens again, and then they start way too early, and then they kind of have to recap everything, and they're like, what are you doing? And then I think the logo might happen again, and it's like, fucking... yeah, that's how you start a Gintama movie. I would expect nothing less at all. I like the way the show started too, though, with the metaphor about moths to the light, which comes up later when it's in context of Takasugi's crew. That's kind of the thing with Okada, how he was attracted to this light of Takasugi, and the arc starts in the show by having that metaphor about a moth just going along alone in the darkness, and then it just gets drawn to the flame regardless of its own consciousness. And I think that's a good setup for that, how they're all just drawn to him like that, just kind of instinctively, especially for Okada, who's literally in the dark all the time. And he sees this light leave somebody when they die that's like their soul, and he has seen this similar kind of light in Takasugi, the light that he never thought could be in a living person, and he's so drawn to it, and he doesn't want to go back to the darkness, and he wants to be able to protect this flame no matter what, and he also sees this similar kind of light in Gintoki. So I thought that was just a good little setup for that. There are some differences in other scenes too, like Shinpachi going to visit like Katsura's guys at some point later on, and Elizabeth, and they're the ones who kind of give a little explanation about who all the villains are and tell us their names and their specialties, whereas in the movie that's done by the Shinsengumi at the beginning. I prefer the show's version of that because the Shinsengumi aren't in the arc. So for one thing in the movie, I appreciate adding them in just because it's fun to see them. It's fun having them there. Kondo was naked. That's cool, but when you have the Shinsengumi at the beginning of the film, at the beginning of the arc, that sets my expectations that they are going to be in the story, and then they weren't. So I prefer them just not being there at all if they're not going to be there, if they're not actually going to contribute. Don't make me think that they are going to. You also get to see Gintoki in the pawn shop in the show, talking to the woman who works there and picking out the googly eyes and nose thing, rather than just seeing him after the fact. And also there's an extra scene in the show of Shinpachi going to visit the brother and sister to talk about what happened with Gintoki when he got beaten, and to talk about the sword itself, which was a really good scene. And that just kind of helped characterize the brother a little bit more, which I don't think the movie was missing out on, but kind of like how the animation was a bonus for the movie, little scenes like that are a bonus for the show. Just another good metaphor where he was talking about how if a raindrops hit a piece of stone enough times, eventually they'll break through. Even something as weak as a raindrop can eventually go through stone. So what would it be like if you're just hammering in your will into a piece of iron over and over again, just hammering in the urge to kill into it, like something unknown will enter into this sword, and how a swordsmith's will is so strongly forged into the sword and they're able to live on, and how beautiful he finds that because it's filled with this one singular purpose, this intent to kill, which is a similar view of Takasugi, just having this one singular intent, and makes sense that they're working together. And how he thinks it's so beautiful that like a sword and person will be working towards the same goal together. And it was just a good little conversation. Small little details. I don't think this was in the movie when Kagura and the girl were spitting and they got the spit on the feminist lolicon man's face. There was a scene in the show where he was wiping the spit off of his face, but he only wiped the hot blonde girl's spit off, and he didn't wipe Kagura's spit off, and she called him out on that, and she was getting mad at him. I don't think that was in the movie, I could be wrong, but that was really funny. Like, he only wiped off her spit, and he kept Kagura's spit on his face. If that wasn't in the movie, that's a shame. And also, a really small moment, when they grabbed Katsura by the legs and were spinning him around, in the show, you could still hear him yelling, like, after we cut away from that. Like, we cut over to the villains, and then we cut over to the ship coming, which had Elizabeth on it, and they're coming in, and there was, like, a decent amount of time after we cut away from them spinning him, where you could still hear him screaming, and it was really funny. And in the movie, they cut him screaming much sooner, which was not as funny. So there were just tiny little moments like that make the show worth watching. And then there are bits that make the movie worth watching. If I were to recommend this to someone who had not seen it, I would recommend watching the show first, and then watching the movie later as like a bonus, just to see the story that you've already seen in the format that it was originally kind of meant to be presented in, but spruced up. You got the better animation, you got some extra stuff in there, you've got some extra scenes with their past and Shoyo Sensei, which was cool. Just a little extra of seeing him and showing how important he was to them when they were younger, and just seeing them when they were so young. I had no idea. If they had said it before, I didn't remember that they knew each other when they were so young. And so I like that, seeing all those scenes and seeing how these morals and everything that they're all about were instilled into them, how Gintoki became the person he was under this man's guidance. And then the scene with Kagura's brother, that little bit in there. When I saw the guy, immediately I was like, is that Kagura's brother? But I was thinking, no, like, it couldn't be. He's not just gonna like be there. And then I remembered what people had told me about the movie. They had said that there were some kinda spoiler-ish things during the movie, but not really, like mostly just seeing characters who you're gonna meet later, which really only spoils like what they look like. And so after a little bit, I realized that, oh, this must be one of those. He's probably just here for a little cameo, and then he's gonna leave. So yeah, it's definitely Kagura's brother, and then, yeah, it is. So that's really cool to see, just that he was involved there and seeing him. And then there's another little scene at the end, which is really weird, of him again, and saying, like, he's excited to come to Edo and see these samurai, which I don't think is gonna be happening soon from where I am, because, like, that wasn't in the show. Maybe they put that in just as an extra little thing for the hell of it, but I don't think so, because obviously the movie was made later. The movie was made in like 2010, so I feel like maybe he was about to show up or had showed up recently in the anime where it was at in 2010. And if that's the case, that's a little disappointing, because seeing him here, even though I knew he wouldn't have a big role here, kind of gets me excited, especially because you put that scene at the end. It gets me excited to be like, are we going to see Kagura's brother soon? But let me know if I should put it out of my mind. Don't spoil me, but if it's going to be a while, let me know, because I don't want to be sitting here rubbing my hands together excited that we're going to see her brother soon and it's going to take 100 episodes. But yeah, also kind of, that's cool to see, but, you know, if that's the case, then I prefer the show's version of that too, just because you don't have those expectations. And also, because of Bonsai, he's barely in the movie at all. He's just there at the beginning, and then he comes in with the pirates at the end. That plotline itself, I prefer in the show. The movie action scene is really good, but it feels more tacked on in the movie. Again, just because of the context, when you're like, oh, Bonsai still hasn't shown up, when is he gonna show up? In the show, it doesn't feel that urgent because there's always more episodes. It's like, he'll show up sometime, I guess. Maybe he's doing something for future episodes. But in a movie, when you've got just an hour and a half runtime and then it's over, you're waiting and waiting and waiting for Bonsai to show up, and there's less and less time, and it's like, when the fuck is this guy gonna show up? And for him to only show up after it's done, like after the Benizakura sword is destroyed and we basically won, it feels a little weirder in the movie. And you had a little more build up in the movie too. You saw more of the scene with him. So I think that's a point towards the show. But then you get the actual fight in the movie, which was really cool. There was no Sakamoto. Because of episode 57, I was thinking that Sakamoto might be involved here too, and maybe those batteries would come back as well. And then I found out after the fact that was a filler, so I was like, oh, never mind. But I thought there was still a possibility that they could be here, because maybe they did a filler episode to introduce or, you know, bring him back because he would be in this arc. But no, that was just a filler that had nothing to do with anything. So no Sakamoto. I really liked the scene with Otai allowing Gintoki to go, giving him his clothes and umbrella because she knew there was nothing they could really do to stop him. I liked it more in the show of them passing each other in the rain and then her turning around rather than just like sitting up there watching him. But yeah, good stuff with Elizabeth. Pretty big focus of the movie. While Katsura had been taken down at the beginning, just her going to Gintoki and the gang, sitting there being a terrifying monster and them having no idea what to do with her, how to help her, or whatever. Shinpachi punching her. Great moment for Shinpachi with like the fucking spiked knuckles and everything. Really good moment for both of them. His speech to her and then her threatening him with her demonic craziness. The cannon, which there was a little bit more of in the movie, which was nice. Because you can just make Elizabeth anything. Like anything could come out of Elizabeth, and I will not question it. Regardless of, like, it can be the biggest Deus Ex Machina, weird plot device thing, anything at all that you can make Elizabeth do, and I wouldn't question it. I just assume that Elizabeth is literally God, so I won't question it. Like, she's the director, remember? She's in full control, so I don't question it. But, yeah, and Elizabeth's, like, leadership over all the guys and her joining in on the battle. Chunky role for Elizabeth, which was pretty funny, and great shit for Shinpachi. Like, again, punching Elizabeth and his speech to her, cutting off Okada's fucking arm. At the beginning of the show, I didn't really care for Shinpachi all that much. I didn't dislike him, but he was the straight man. He was the normal one. He was just kind of there a lot of the time, and sometimes he was a little bit of a buzzkill, but I grew to like him a lot more as the show went. It was really funny, because, like, right after I started complaining about him, like, the next few episodes right after that, like, we're all Shinpachi-centric, and we're really good. But I liked him a lot more as the show has gone on, and he was doing some great shit in this movie. Slicing off Okada's arm was fucking badass. Saving Kagura, fighting at the end. He fought Takechi, the feminist lolicon, which is really weird. But, and I don't even know what to make of him, and I think that's the intention. I don't know if he's because he was saying, like, oh, Kagura's going to be really good in a few years. But in a few years, she's going to be, like, 16, 17. And she's not a lolly. You know, she's just not. And she'll be older then. And that's, like, age of consent range, especially in Japan. So that's not a lolicon, like, by any stretch at all. It's just fucking weird. I'm going to say he's neither. He's not a feminist. He's not a lolicon. He's just weird. I haven't seen him around an actual child. Like, Kagura, again, she's a child. She's not a lolly. So I need to see him react to like a literal child, like a really young girl, and see how he behaves. I don't want to see that though, so let's just not do that. I'm gonna assume there's no feminism, there's no lolicon. He's just a fucking weirdo. Can we just leave it at that? He didn't wipe the spit off his face. Funny scene with the, I'm shaking, oh no, it's just the drunken style, and then he's shaking too. And it's like, oh, this is a pretty good matchup. He's definitely the least interesting in terms of character design, though I really like the design of all of the other ones. You've got the girl Matoko, and great strategy. Kagura distracting her by talking about her dirty underwear, and then their little spit battle. I'm excited to see all these guys again in the future. Okada, probably dead, but all the other ones, I'm excited to see them come back with Takasugi in the future. Bonsai didn't get to do shit, and he's apparently a great swordsman, so I want to see more of him in the future. And Okada himself, I'm surprised he had such a huge role. It's kind of cool because we've seen him before, rather than giving a role like this to some random that we had never seen, like Takechi or Matoko. We had never seen them before except in the ED, and Bonsai we had only seen a little bit, so giving it to Okada, who we had already fought before, was pretty cool, and I wouldn't have expected him to have such a huge role and be so central to all this, being the one to wield this sword. I know he had it at the beginning, but I was like, okay, is Takasugi himself going to use it later? They have all these other Benizakura swords, where I'm like, okay, are a ton of people going to use them? But no, it was central on Okada. A little disappointing that we didn't get to see all of those swords in action. I realize there's like no way that could have worked, because if there were that many swords going around being used, it would have been too crazy. But again, within the context of a movie, I kind of set my expectations for that to happen. Like, oh my god, all of these swords are going to be unleashed and there's just going to be chaos throughout Edo. If I had started with the show, I might not have thought that. A little disappointing that they weren't all used, but I do understand. But yeah, Okada using the sword. I like the sword itself. I think it's really cool. I think it's a cool design, how it just keeps spreading and growing on them. And him using it, like I already talked about, this whole like moth to a flame thing, like with Takasugi, and how he just wants fame. He wants to be a legend and replace the old ones with his new legend of him and Takasugi and all these guys, and him just getting taken over by this sword. Him kind of sabotaging the group in a way by targeting Katsura and Gintoki the way that he did, or at least causing all this to happen faster than it initially would have, because it's like they say, this shit would have happened regardless at some point, but you know, it's his own personal problems that he's got going on that leads things to happen exactly the way that they do. And I wouldn't have thought we would have something like this when I first met the guy in the baby arc. He was an interesting antagonist for the time, and then we saw him in the ED, and I was like, oh, that's cool that he's coming back. I wouldn't have expected him to have such a big role like this, and then to presumably die from something like this. And Takasugi, I don't think really cared. I feel like he was really using him more so than anything, because when we first met Takasugi, it was with that old guy who made the robots, and he was pissed off that his son died in the war. And from what I remember observing at that time that Takasugi really, you know, he just kind of stayed in the shadows, stayed in the background, kind of manipulated this old man, or like told him what he needed to hear to get him to do this stuff that he wanted, rather than going out there and getting his own hands dirty or putting himself in danger. And so I really got that feel from him again here. It's a little disappointing that Takasugi himself didn't do more. Once again, within the context of a movie, it was even more disappointed, because it's a movie. I want Takasugi to do some shit, and he really didn't. But it's still cool to see him again, to hear Takehito Koyasu's voice, Dio, of course, and it makes sense for his character, because he's doing the same kind of thing here. Of course, he's not going to wield that himself. Get this guy Okada. We'll get him on my team. I know what to say to him to bring him on board. Let him get taken over by the sword. Whatever. It kind of seems like the type of guy who would just use these people. It's cool to learn more about him, though, and I want to learn more as we go. He's just pissed off at this world. Seemingly the primary reason from what we have so far is because his sensei died. This man Shoyo. Apparently he was just way into this guy, and the world that took sensei from us, I can't find joy in that world. He's just unable to move past that, and unable to find new things to care about, like his former comrades were able to. And people like Katsura, who still have the ideals that they have of wanting to reform the country, but want to do it in non-violent ways and find better ways to do it, because they have people they care about, who they're not willing to sacrifice, but he just wasn't able to move past it and find anything to latch onto the way people like Gintoki were able to. So I definitely want to see more of him going forward. I love the final line of the movie because they still have their notebooks from their younger days, keeping the memories and the teachings of their sensei close to them, Takasugi and Katsura, which is really nice. And then I love how the final line of the movie is asking Gintoki about his, I spilt ramen on it and I threw it away. And then that's the end, which is really funny, but it's actually kind of meaningful too, if I want to look into it a little more than I should. Because they were talking before, Okada was saying that, like, a samurai is his sword. Like, if a samurai throws away his sword or a sword is broken, then he's not a samurai anymore. And, of course, that's totally against the ideals of somebody like Gintoki, when it's all about the samurai soul. So it's kind of the same sort of thing there. Like, it doesn't matter if he doesn't have that book on him, if he threw it away. The memories and feelings towards his sensei and those teachings would still be with him, regardless of any kind of physical object. And I think the last things that I need to talk about are the brother and sister. Tetsuya and Tetsuko, I think were their names. I didn't expect the brother to be a villain. Pretty funny introduction, just with him yelling and her being so quiet and him also not paying any attention to anything anyone says. Gintoki having to scream in his face and getting hit. Fun characters. I like her design. I like the hair. I think it's kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't see it coming with him being bad and her not telling, even though she knew what was happening. She just, was kind of indoctrinated in the way that they were raised and what they were taught about swords, while also being fearful for what would happen to her brother because she cared about him. But, you definitely should have said something sooner. But he's obviously the one at fault here. He's doing this, allowing Takasugi to use the Benizakura swords because he just cares about swords and nothing else. He felt inferior to his father and even to his sister a little bit in some ways. You have that scene where he overheard the father telling his sister, like, you may not be as technically skilled, but you have something that your brother doesn't have. And he never quite caught on to what that something was. And he only strictly cared about swords, just making the strongest swords, living up to his father's reputation. And if that meant going above and beyond and adding all this extra strange shit, mechanical shit to the swords to make them this way, getting involved with these like black market bad people, so be it. It didn't matter what the consequences were, what the swords were used for. You can't choose the sword's user. You're making these weapons for killing, so it doesn't matter what happens to them after the fact. He just wanted to make the swords the best that he possibly could. That's all he cared about, and that is part of what they were taught. Like I said, the sister was kind of hesitant to tell on him because she had been taught that way as well, that like the swords were meant for killing, this is what they do. But she also just retained her humanity, and he had kind of forgotten what else their father told them about trying to remain righteous and forging your own soul, kind of like Shoyo had been saying to Gintoki in the little flashback, and trying to remain good, and good people will be attracted to you to want to buy those swords. He kind of forgot all that, obviously realized the importance of his humanity in his last moments because he chose to save his sister. It was just a little too late at that point, so it sucks that he, had to die after realizing his mistakes, but it was a good scene. It was a good death scene. Glad that he did get to realize that, and after everything that he did, it's either jail or that. So that's a pretty fitting end for the character, and yeah, definitely a good arc for the two of them. It'd be cool to see her again in the future. She had her sword that was forged with the will to protect, which triumphed in the end, and that was really great. I really like that. The final confrontation was really cool. All the shit with the sword taking over Okada, all the action scenes were really fun. And yeah, I think that's about all I have to say at this point. No idea when we'll see Takasugi and his guys again, but I'm excited for whenever it happens. He has this one singular purpose, just destroying everything. Kagero's brother we'll see eventually. I'm not getting my hopes up for that happening anytime soon, but there are little things in there that make me excited for the future. But yeah, for now, I guess we'll just be going back to random shenanigans. Who knows, but that's fine. I love me some random Gintama shenanigans. And like I said, there's pros and cons to both the movie and the show, but the story itself was very good. I enjoyed it a lot, and enjoyed both versions of it. I mean, I watched the movie and then I watched the show right after, and I wasn't bored at all during either, even though I just basically watched the same thing twice in a row. So that tells you something. It was really well paced in both versions, not a dull moment. Pretty good, pretty interesting stuff. And yeah, there's probably more to say, because there's a lot. But if there's anything left, we can talk about it in the comments. I think I'll have to stop here for now. This has been a pretty long discussion, pretty long video, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe. Check out the description down below for all those links. Really appreciate it, and I will see you next time.